Alright, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but I recently discovered a few new things about Samira. So I thought it was time to do like an updated combo video and like tips video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, it all really helps me out a lot. And yeah, let's just start with the first thing. One thing I've never really mentioned in the video is that the Samira Q hitbox is a little bit strange. I think this is not even the Q hitbox but more the enemy hitbox, but you can actually Q things behind you. As you can see here, this Q, you would think like, okay, that guy is behind you, how would the melee sword here ever hit him? But it does. It's probably because his hitbox, imagine if this is his box, it's probably because his hitbox is currently like underneath you, which means that the start of the sword is probably still hitting the hitbox. This can be pretty important when you're maybe fighting like multiple people and you need to hit multiple people at once, like maybe you're trying to hit those two and you can do this and you hit them both. It's also pretty important when you're trying to shove out a wave, because you can always just like hit this guy. I just cleared the guy behind me and also hit the backline. This helps you shove out lanes a bit faster. Let me show you one more time. For example, if you want to hit these guys, you can do something like this. And as you can see, I was hitting the guy behind me and the backline as well. Neat little trick. A lot of people probably don't know that, but this can actually help you get like a kill or two extra or shove a lane a little bit faster so the enemy loses a bit more farm. So next up, and I actually didn't notice until literally yesterday, shout out to Carlito or Carlito for telling me about this combo, but there's actually a combo you can do. First of all, you need level 6 for this. You need 1 point in ult, and the key part is pressing the ult even though you can't ult. You'd be like, okay, why would I do that? But it actually works, because if you know how Samira works, you cannot just E into a W. The W will be at the end. Mid-dash, the W doesn't work. You can W into an E and like make it hit twice, but you can't E into like an insta W. But for some reason, if you press E into an R with any amount of stacks, even 0, 1, 2, 3, it for some reason just lets you W. So let me show you real quick. It's E into R into W. Do you see how I just did a W really early on in the middle of the dash? It's because for some reason when you press R, it just completely bugs out the W like limitation and you can just press it. So if that was a bit too fast for you, it's literally just E, while you're traveling, press the non-ult into a W. So ERW. And as you can see there, that's a really good way to get 3 stacks really fast. Normally to do this combo you need to be there for the first W, and then you W into an EW, which is just this. But that requirement kind of goes away when you just E into an RW. You don't really need to hit the first one, because now you can just time it mid-air by just doing an ER into a WW. The amount of stacks doesn't matter. You can do this with like a few lower stacks, like add a bit more stacks there. That doesn't matter. You want to be careful though that you don't just ult, because obviously E into an R when you have max stacks lets you ult. But yeah, that's a pretty cool trick. Thank you, Carlitos Home. I'm butchering their name. Their name is Carlitom1337. Thank you for that combo tip. Next up is another really important combo, or it's technically bug abusing. I mean, so was the last combo, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Either way, the next one is a really like important one because it actually gets you extra kills. So for some reason, when you do a W combo, this only works with a specific combo as far as I've tested it, but you can do a range Q or a melee Q mid-ult. If you've ever watched my videos, sometimes I'm like, oh, I bug abuse, and I just do like an extra burst Q. And let's say you've already, this only kind of works if your Q is coming off cooldown mid-ult. So let's say you've already Q'd, maybe you're poking someone, your Q is going on cooldown, you do your combo, and then mid-combo your Q comes back up. So I'm not going to include the Q in the combo right now. So let's say I just do a W into an ER. Do you see how I just melee Q'd them? I just melee Q'd them for like an extra 100 damage mid-ult. And you can also do a range Q depending on how far you are away. If you know any alternations of this combo or how to recreate it without W, feel free to let me know. But as far as I know, this only works when you include a W into an EW combo. Let me show you the range Q real quick. So again, let's say you imagine you Q for like a stack builder. You do a W into an ER. I'm gonna walk a bit away so you can see the range Q. Like there, I just legit range Q the mid-ult, which shouldn't be possible, but I just did it. So to sum it up, if that was a little bit confusing to you, basically if you do a W into an E into an ult, and you spam Q, I would recommend just spamming it, press it repeatedly, you will just get another extra Q in there. And late game with like Infinity Edge or like Lord Dominic's Collector, that's a lot of added burst. That really helps you like shut down an extra target a bit quicker. So about the last combo where I said you could Q mid-ult, you can also do the same with W, except not a Q, but an auto attack. So what do I mean with that? If you know Samira, you cannot auto attack mid-W, it doesn't work. But if you just do a simple W into E combo, you can actually auto attack in the middle of W, as you can see right here. W into E. The range attack pretty much came out in the middle of W. It is worth noting this one is a little bit buggy and inconsistent. Sometimes, as you can see right here, it just kind of like stutters you in the middle. But there's not really a downside, I think, because like if your auto attack is up, it works. And even if it doesn't work, it's not going to consume your auto attack. You can still just auto attack after the W ends regardless, if the auto attack doesn't go through in the middle of the W. I would say though, don't like overcomplicate it too much. Sometimes you're better off just going for a guaranteed normal combo. The Q mid-ult one, you can kind of always just go for by just spamming Q after doing a combo, hoping it works. But you shouldn't rely on this. It can help you if it works and it does extra damage to you, that's great. But don't expect the W auto attack in the middle of W to work like 100% of the time, because it just doesn't. It's inconsistent. The Q1 works pretty consistent though. I can recreate it pretty much every single time. And the E into the RW one is also pretty consistent. That should work pretty much always. I'm just gonna put this in here, but a lot of people always get really surprised when I tell them this. For some reason, people play Samira for years and don't know that you can eat the structures. Yes, guys, you can eat the turrets. You can eat turrets and over an inhibitor. If you're wondering why is this good, why would I use this? Well, sometimes there's nothing to eat to, but you still want to get the attack speed boost if you're taking plates, a turret, or the inhibitor. And just getting the attack speed boost that way can be pretty valuable. You can also kind of use it as an unexpected gap closer. If you're hitting an inhibitor Samira as a melee form, people are just like, oh, that's just Samira, melee form. But they don't know you can just E over it to get in range with them. Like, you can never E to this guy, but Eing over the inhibitor will get you in like the melee range of him. You can use it to dive, to jump over inhibitors to get onto people, and it will get you some free kills because people just won't expect it. And I'll just put this in there as well because this is pretty important if you don't know this. You can always use jungle camps as well to exit over walls. Like, for example, you can use this little dude. Thanks. You can even use... It kind of depends what the distance is exactly. Like, you're not going to be able to E from here to here unless he's like pulled a little bit further towards the wall. So it's kind of situational. Like, for example, if someone is doing red buff here, like an enemy jungler, you can do it like this. But if he's here, you will never make that distance. You can use the Crux to get out as well. And if you're wondering what the lineup is for this, it's pretty much you just get as close to like the exit point as possible. So if I'm using this minion to get over the wall, you want to be as close to his like hitbox in the center of it as possible. So pretty much just this. If you're a bit further away, you might not make it. But if you're just a bit closer to the wall like this, that's usually enough. There might be a situation where you're stuck in the pit and even these little void grubs you can use as an exit. Rare that it can help you, but sometimes you're just stuck in there and that's your only way out. It could save you one day. Who knows? Something else I really wanted to include that I pretty much include always. This is just so key if you're playing Samira mid lane like me. And this is just, it could help you in general though, even if you're playing a bot lane. This is just like general knowledge, but if you are running from someone, for example, a jungler, let's say you're mid lane here and you went to ward and there's a jungler running after you. This is like his pathing, he's running like after you. And you can't live by just running. That sometimes is just the case. Sometimes you're just guaranteed dead unless you do something. Maybe you don't have flash. And then sometimes what you need to do, let's say this is the spot, but you're very close to dying. Sometimes you need to do a step back into them. This looks grief because you would be like, and this might be really straightforward. If you know this, great, but some people don't know this. But sometimes you have to walk back into the danger to then be able to E, and then you close more distance than you would get from just running away, if that makes sense. So if you are guaranteed to die by just running, that's kind of your only way out. You have to like kind of manipulate the enemy positioning to get a favorable E angle to then create more distance, if that makes sense. And it's the same when they're chasing you and you want to like get over a wall. If they're chasing me here, the jungler, and I'm like running this way, and I can never walk all the way here and all the way here and then live, what you can do is walk close to the wall yourself, hope they kind of like hug your positioning as well, and then you just do one little step back at the end, and then you go over the wall. And this is probably more safety and more distance you can ever get compared to just straight up running away from him. Kind of like the minion tip, except this time they're alive enemies chasing you. Pretty important though, especially if you're playing Samira mid. You cannot really play Samira mid without knowing this, because you're just gonna get ganked and you're gonna die pretty much every single time. There's some flash animation cues that you can do, where you can like aim the Q here, but flash and hit it there. This is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but I'm gonna like do it in slow motion anyway. It's pretty much just you Q at one target, and then you flash, and it will go where your mouse cursor is at. So I'm pressing it here, into a flash here, and it will, as you can see, it's angled towards where my cursor was. This could help you if, like, imagine you're both 1 HP, your Q animation already starts, he flashes from here to there, and you need to follow it with the animation. Kind of like an E Gragas, like body slam flash, if that makes sense. It could help you. It's nice knowing that you can do this. You can also do the same with the Q range animation. This is just mostly to extend the range. You can Q into a flash. Obviously, if you're just standing here, this Q will never reach. So Q into a flash will extend the range. This is a bit better than flashing into a Q, because if you flash into a Q, you're now giving them time to flash away already. Because now you need to do the entire Q animation still, while if you're doing it pre-flash, they have a little bit less time to like react to it, which could help you, I guess. You can also do an EQ flash like this to like get the trail and the Q somewhere else. As you can see there, it hit with both the E and the Q. This could help you again, kind of in the same spots. If someone's flashing away from you from 1 HP, that might help you out a little bit. One more thing, and probably the last thing in this video, but this is like essential if you're playing Samira. If you're an experienced Samira main, you probably already know this, but very often when you're chasing a target or someone's kiting you, you'll be like melee queuing, but as soon as you melee Q, they're running out of the Q range. So what I mean with that is that when you start the Q animation, they will sometimes, when your animation finishes, already be out of like the edge of it, which makes you just soar the air and do absolutely nothing. So basically this Q would hit him, but if I start the animation and he's like a little bit further like that, I would be doing a sword Q but not hitting him. Because as you can see, this is not a sword Q range. You also wouldn't range Q because you already started the melee sword animation. And you could lose out on kills this way. And there's nothing really we can do about it apart from just realizing that this can happen, and sometimes it's better to not sword Q and just sit there, let them get some distance, and then go for a guaranteed ranged Q. I hope that made sense, but it's actually really important. I'm gonna try and make it clear one more time. Basically, sometimes they run out of the Q animation, and you're better off not queuing there, waiting like a split millisecond until they're guaranteed out of your Q melee range to get a guaranteed gun Q. Yeah. Okay, I think that was pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you knew some of these or if you didn't know them. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.